Today, I'm going to show you how to build anything with DeepSeek version 3 for free so that you don't need to pay for any of this. And I'm going to show you basically how to build apps, websites, tools, step by step using the V3 API. Now, this is super powerful because number one, it's open source and it's already beating a lot of the closed models out there. So, for example, Claude 3.5 Sonnet and GPT 4.0 are both getting beaten by DeepSeek version 3, as you can see right here. Now, this is pretty much across the board when it comes to benchmarks. So, for example, for coding, for logic, etc., you can use DeepSeek version 3. And here's where it gets even crazier. I'm going to show you how to access this for free, but I've absolutely rinsed the API on DeepSeek recently this week, and it's been almost free, right? It's cost me 0.2 cents to use it for hours, right? And even if you did pay for the API, it's pretty much free, it's super powerful. You can build basically anything with it. And because it's just recently been released, it's very easy for anyone like you to build anything that you can imagine. Let me show you some examples, starting off with the free options. So what we can do is we can go to deepseek-artifacts.forsale.app. And from there, we actually get access to DeepSeek version 3 because someone's built this free coding tool where you can create pages like you can see, you can create websites, apps, etc. using a very simple prompt. So for example, what we can do from here is we can go inside the chat and we can say, okay, create a Space Invaders game, right? Just test something super simple like that. And basically you can create in one single click a video game that used to take people hours, if not hundreds of hours to build. So let's wait for that to generate. What you're going to see is, first of all, the code is being generated right here. So it's building out the files for the project. And then once it's finished generating, it will actually show you a preview of the game that is built. The amazing thing about this is it's never been so easy to create and code things. So here you can see, for example, we've got the game ready to go. You can see the Space Invaders coming after me here, and I can just flick through the arrows and avoid them. Pretty simple, as you can see. That was generated in what, one click? Some of the stuff that you can do with this is crazy. For example, you can build apps, you can build to-do list apps, calorie counters, you can build websites, landing pages, tools. And the other thing is as well, right? Once you've actually built this up, you can actually open it up in the sandbox. And then inside the sandbox, as you can see, it's giving us the code for the game. But also if we go over here, and then we click on download sandbox, we can actually just download it and keep the code or store it offline, right? You can also share this with other people and you can embed it too. So you can actually embed the code inside a website. So let's say, for example, you create a tool or an app that you want to embed inside your website. You can just take the code and it'll actually load the files with the preview. How much did that cost us? Nothing. It's completely free. Let's try something else now. So we'll say create a website for my SEO agency. It's just going to go off and build that out. Obviously, you could customize it with your own prompts, your own tips, etc. And actually, I've got a free course link in the comments description that gives you all of my best prompts for using this sort of stuff. So if you just log in, go to the free SEO tools section, you'll see all my best prompts for Lovable, Bolt, DeepSeek, etc. But here you can see the website generated. You can actually flick the preview. So if you just want to see it full screen, you can see an example right here. You can refresh it if you want to, and you've got the website built out in literally a couple of clicks. You can also flick between night mode and daytime. Now, what you can also do if you want to get free access to this is you can actually get an API from Hyperbolic. That's free to get access to. And they've actually offered a small Christmas gift where you can play with the DeepSeek-V3 API through their APIs, right? So if you get the API from Hyperbolic, that's available at hyperbolic.xyz. And then once you've logged in, you can grab an API key and then get free access to it that way as well. Pretty simple stuff. Now, what happens if you don't want to use artifacts? You can actually use the DeepSeek chat directly. It's available at their website, so chat.deepseek.com. And then from here, we can start building things out with DeepSeek. Now, what this is also useful for is because you've got a chat mode, you can actually, for example, create content. So for example, if we say, create a short intro for my article about SEO, make it feel humanized in the style of Alex Hormozy. He's created a really nice intro, so you can see right here. Let's get real for a second. SEO is some mythical, untouchable art. It's your golden ticket to being seen, heard, and found in a world where everyone's screaming for attention, right? Like most human copywriters couldn't be that. That's really nice. The way that it's written, and with a bit of editing, you can create an article for free very quickly using DeepSeek.com. Now that's one way to create content. What you can also do here is if you need some help with, for example, like logic or reasoning or thinking tasks, then what you would actually switch to is Deep Think over here, right? So this will be comparable to, for example, like ChatGPT model, where it's like a deep think reasoning model. But the difference here is that with, for example, ChatGPT, you have to pay for that tool. Whereas, for example, with .deepseek.com, obviously you have to be careful because it is using your data, and I'm sure that's what it's being trained on. But at the same time, if you want free access to use its logic and reasoning mode, then you can use that right here. So for example, we can say create a calculator for SEO, and then it's actually thinking out the whole process before it does anything else. And usually what it does is actually plans this out in about 800 words or so. It's planning out exactly how to build it, and it's gone seriously in depth there. It's also creating an algorithm for calculating total SEO score. And then it's figuring out, okay, how do we create this? We could do it with HTML, CSS for styling, and JavaScript using the calculation logic. Plus it's planning out, okay, based on the feedback, how can it help you like create better content, right? So number one is figuring out how to create the tool. Number two is figuring out where to code it. Number three is figuring out, okay, how to do the feedback, and super simple and easy to do. Now, once it's done that, you can say, okay, create the HTML, CSS, and JS if you want to build something with it. And if you want to preview this sort of stuff, you can actually go to LiveWeave, as you can see right here. This is a tool that I actually built out previously using a similar API. And you can see the result right here. So we built out a keyword research tool. These prompts are inside my free course, link in the comments description. And if we test it out, so if we put, for example, like real estate, analyze the keywords, you can see it's given us some analysis of that keyword right there, along with creating the web page and the website. Like you could actually get that hosted and create it. And if you're wondering, okay, like how do you actually host all of this? How do you get it live? So what I actually did was I downloaded the CSS, the JavaScript, everything else, plugged it into netlify.com, plugged you can just drag and drop the folder files. And then you can see, for example, we hosted this website with a custom domain using the tool that we created. And you can easily do that with DeepSeek version 3. Here's an example, right? What I did was I basically just copied the code from Deep Chat, and you plug that into the CSS section. You're going to grab the JavaScript. That'll go into the JavaScript section over here. And then you want the HTML. Plug that in here. Boom shakalaka. You got a nice little keyword research tool ready to go for you right there, as you can see, right? And then we just fill this in as a little test, calculate the score. You've built out a website with a tool ready to go. And it literally just took you a couple of prompts, right? Literally all we said in this chat was create a calculator for SEO using the DeepMind option, and then create HTML, CSS, and JS, right? Built it out instantly. No back and forth, no messing around. It's just ready to go. So we've covered 3 different ways to get access for free and build anything that you want using DeepSeek version 3. I'm going to show you the final method that is really powerful, and I'll show you that in a second. But you can see, to recap, we've got DeepSeek artifacts like I've shown you. We also have the second method, which is using chat.deepseek.com. And then the final method is using hyperbolic, like I mentioned before. So let's come on to the final method and how you can build anything that you want using DeepSeek version 3. So what we can do from here is we can actually use something called Bolt DIY. Again, I've got the whole recipe directly inside my free SEO course. And what you can do is you can go to the GitHub, and the actual tool itself is free. And like I mentioned, the API for DeepSeek version 3 is super cheap. So what you can do from here, make sure you got Docker installed. Just follow the instructions on the page if you're struggling, and we can just get this set up. Let's plug this in. Literally, it's just a case of copying and pasting the terminal commands. And then once you've done the final download, we can PNPM. We can run it, as you can see. Let's get this bad boy opened up. And you can see Bolt DIY right here. If it doesn't load for you properly, just refresh the page. And we're going to go to DeepSeek over here. We're going to select DeepSeek Chat. This is actually something I just realized recently. I think someone commented yesterday on the video, which was like, when you're selecting which drop down from Bolt DIY, make sure that you select chat, not coder, right? Now, the reason that you would use, for example, DeepSeek via Bolt DIY and not via artifacts or those sort of things, is that the advantage of this is you can create bigger projects, and Bolt DIY is trained to build stuff for you, right? To make it easy to build stuff. So it's custom made for that, which means that you probably get better outputs and you'll be able to do it in better times. And also using Bolt DIY, you don't have to pay, but you can select which API you use. We can create an API key directly inside platform.deepseek.com. Again, super cheap. We're going to edit the API key input right here, plug that in. And then, for example, we can say from here, okay, create a to-do list app, and we can just build out that app. Now, the more complicated the project is, the harder it is to build it, the more back and forth you have to go with Bolt. So for example, sometimes the dependencies are not installed. But the good thing is you can actually ask Bolt to troubleshoot it for you and fix any errors that you get along the way. So that's pretty cool. So for example, you can see there's a terminal error there where we have to install Vite, which is pretty normal to be fair. We're going to install that right now. We'll restart the application, and there we go. We've got the to-do list app ready to go, right? We'll build something with DeepSeek-V3 test that works. You can see it's added inside there. We can delete that if we want from the to-do list app. But basically, we've got an app ready to go. And again, you can host this sort of stuff with Netlify. So really powerful. I've shown you multiple ways: DeepSeek artifacts, Bolt DIY, DeepSeek chat, DeepSeek DeepMind, and finally using Hyperbolic. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. So if you want to get access to all the links, tips, prompts, SOPs, along with 200 tutorials on exactly how to do SEO, feel free to get that link in the comments description. There's also so much value in this. Like normally people pay thousands of dollars for something like this. It's completely free. Link in the comments description. Get free instant access. And then once you're in, just go to free SEO tools. And then from here, you can scroll down and you'll see all this information. For example, how to build tools with Lovable, Notebook LM, DeepSeek version 3, DeepSeek artifacts, and Bolt DIY. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to build that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll custom tailor everything that we talk about on that call to you, your website, who your competitors are, and what you need to get the results that you want. Additionally, you can ask us any questions, and we're happy to help on that. This is all based on what works for us and our clients, so feel free to get it. Link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.